Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kiki and we are going to be doing another build video today. I decided that I wanted to go ahead and with the inspiration of Walmart Thor, I'm going to, and ignore the scribbles, build my childhood home. I don't think you can really see that very well, but I went ahead and I scribbled out a particular layout with it and figured it might be fun. Now this childhood home, it was one that I was in for probably the longest out of all the homes that I did actually live in. So I thought, why not make it in game? And it'll be a little interesting to see if I can actually do it correctly or how I can figure out certain things like toggling, things going up, down, etc. But for this particular home, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a view of what it looks like. And it is... Now, don't mind it. Now, mind you, this is a picture I actually found because I haven't lived there in well over a decade. But this is one of the pictures from like 2000. Oh my goodness. I forget. It's really old. But it's over a decade. Or maybe not. Actually, I don't know. Let's just bring it up here and I'll show you. Okay. So this is one of the homes. This is the longest home that I ever lived in. I lived in here for well over a decade. Probably, let's see, from about, I think I was 11 on, even before I went to college and all that stuff, and then after all the stuff that I went through here. This is the oldest, like, house that I've ever lived in. Now, let me go ahead and lock this here really quick, and then see if I can bring it up a little bit bigger over my picture. So this is, like, the basic... like what it looks like. I'm just making it big on the screen there. The car that's in the driveway is one that I actually used to drive myself. It went from my dad to me, and yeah, so this is very, very nostalgic for me. But I wanted to draw this in game as, you know, for as much as I possibly can, just so I can get like a basic layout of like what I have there. For what I did with the actual grid paper when it came to this is I tried to figure out like how many squares it would be and how to actually do that correctly. And like you can see like the door would be considered 1 and then maybe like a 2 next to it, and then like the window would be 2 or 3. It's an interesting layout, and the people who own the property now did overhaul the whole thing because we weren't able to do any of that. Like, it was a rented house, and the people who owned it when we were renting the property refused to do any repairs. Like, refused to do paint jobs, refused to do upgrades, refused to change out the windows, and the windows were really old, so everything didn't work correctly. In fact, the main window that's like, if you see for like the actual front window there, it actually had a hole like this big from a rock flying from the road into it, and it never got fixed. Like, we told them and told them and told them. They're like, no, we're just gonna wait till you leave and we're selling the property, so we don't care. It's like, okay, well, you know, that's cool. Thanks a lot for that. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I did bring myself to this particular lot here. This is a 20 by 30 because when I did my actual like line here and tried to figure out how big the property would be based off of like how it looks in that picture, I thought it was like 18 by 24. So I decided that a 20 by 30 would probably be the best. And then that way we can like get it all set up and figure out how to do that. So for it, I am going to go ahead and I think like the way I did it is that it'd be like 5 and like the length of the actual like fencing. Let me see if I can find a good fence here, because you can see the picture, like you can literally see the picture. It was just a basic brown fence. Again, we asked them, they never wanted to go ahead and fix it. Like, we didn't even have, like, in the back part of the build, you'll see I'm gonna make it so there's like absolutely no closure to it. So we had a backyard, you just couldn't close the backyard. There wasn't a door. There's a door next to where the driveway was, but it was completely open on the other end, so people can come and go as they please. And they did, and there was a lot of really scary stuff that happened with that. And I don't think you can see my cursor here. Is there an option to actually turn on the cursor in game? I am so completely confused by that. Let's see. I don't see anything. where you'd be able to see a cursor, and goodness help me, what the heck? Let's see. I figured it'd be under gameplay, right? Like you can hide UI challenges. No. Okay, well, let's see. If it's there and I'm not seeing it, then that's on me. That's on me. So let's continue to go right here. I'm going to start by getting something as close as possible as I can to the actual backyard. And let's see, I'm going to do like a fake sidewalk. No, maybe like right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little bit more different in game than what I'm having here, but we have a big front lawn. Like the front lawn for this is actually pretty huge. It's the majority of the property that's actually on there. So here we'll go ahead and do this, bring it all the way down, and then how much space did I give it? I gave 5, so we'll do this all the way down until there's like 5 down here. Perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, cool. And then in a little bit, and literally when I say that, it's like it looked like this. This is how the backyard would look. Like you could go into the backyard, into this area. We had a shed back here. There was like a tree that was like the neighbor on this side of us that was going like that side, and then in our yard. So that's pretty much where that came from. So here is that so far. Now with this area right here, I don't know how far up I want to do it, so I'm just going to do a little bit like that. Let's get into the actual walls. Now, let's see. I did a 3 driveway, so like 1, 2, 3 here. Now that was in here, so 1, okay, 2, 3, and then like a gate right there. Okay, I think I did something like that on the build. I think I did a four walled garage right here with a little driveway right there. And then for back here, I had to go back 2. So we'll do that. Now trying to get this because some of the house is actually up, like obviously the driveway was down flat with the street so that you can drive like right into the driveway, but the house was like up a little bit. So I'm going to be figuring that one out. I might have to move the garage a little bit because you actually have stairs that go into the garage and then there's a door that goes to the backyard from the garage. So I have to get that set up there and then try to get it all nice and like decorate a little bit how it was. Like our house was very eclectic. Basically it was, things got destroyed so often that yeah, no. Okay, so we'll go up 4. So 2, 3, 4, because this is going to be part of the house here. And the garage was never actually used as like a typical garage. So 3, 4, 5. But there was space to park like a small car in there. And we did at one point, my stepfather, or my dad, the one that actually raised me, he had a thing for Porsches. So we did have like Porsches set up in there. So it's going to be kind of like that because there'd be stairs going down right here. Okay. So we'll just leave it like that for now. And then 2 in, that's where things will get interesting. Let's see here. We'll go like this. There we go. Do it up just a little bit more. Okay. I don't know, just move objects on, work with this. And testing, cheats true. Okay, let's see here. I can't connect with a different height. That is so not okay. Okay. Well, I might just make it all flat then. Might just make it all flat. Actually, technically, Let's see. Let's just go from here. We'll just see if we can get this in there. We'll do a 4 wall here. Now, I don't remember how to like just get this part going up, so I may just not get that part going up there. But this was where the kitchen was, so that's the kitchen there. Let's do this. Do that. Okay. And then right here is where the actual like door was, because the door was actually right on that little wall there, which you could take a look here. You can see the door is right next to the little 4 area, and it probably could have been a 3, but for the kitchen, oh, actually maybe, because the kitchen is actually fairly small. Like it's a fairly small kitchen. So no, go here. There we go. Okay, so that was pretty small there. Let me see. Now, doing this whole thing like up like that, I might just do it anyways, and then like just keep the stuff that was in the garage like how the garage was, because technically there were stairs going in. No, I'll just do that. Screw having the thing on there. So now, because I'm taking a look at the blocks here, we have a 2 block. Oh no, stay there. You want to do that. So we have 2 blocks here, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay. Is that really how big I had this whole thing? That is pretty much how big I had this whole thing. This lot looks a lot bigger than what I have on here. Oh, because I did, let's just do an extra 1 here. Though, the backyard can probably be bigger, because it is a little bit bigger. So let me go ahead here, move this down so it's flush. I'll bring this down here. Okay. See right there. Like that. Okay. And then we'll just leave that for now. And then we'll just extend this right there. And do this. Now, let me see. You know, it looks like a little different like on the grid paper, but when you're on here, it's like, wait a minute. Let's see. About right here. Because we need to have a good spot for like a little pool area right there. The garage can move back over here like it was. And let's see, put you right here. And then we'll just move this back over like that. We'll give ourselves 1 extra garage space for that. There we go. Okay, we'll just do it like that. 5 looks like it'd be good. 4 for the kitchen. This will be for the living room. All right, now the rooms were probably the bigger part of this, so let me go ahead and do this. We'll do that, and we'll do another little piece like right here, because we need the living room. So we'll do that, and then the living room was not that big. So we'll do 1 room here. Okay, and then let's do a bedroom here. Okay, I kind of feel like I need to move this way a little bit. Okay, and then get rid of this whole wall here. Okay, I'll leave that there. The reason I'm gonna leave that there is because on here, like when you first walk through the door, there's literally a closet. It's like a 1 square when you open the door, and then you go into like a closet, and it's part of the wall, which is very, very funky how it was set up. So technically this is where, oh, where are you going? Move you here, right there. Go there. Okay, so obviously it's not going to be exactly because, I mean, I didn't realize how much the grid paper was just like, no. Okay, so this was technically a closet. And I think the closet was probably about like this. Because that was part of like you walk in the door right here and you go into the living room, which is right here. And let's move this down like that. This can move one. And, oh no, that was actually right. It was just the one like that. Okay. And then you put the wall here. Because you can see usually through the front door. So you can't like go right there. But, let's see. There was a little bathroom here. And this was technically, I think, a 3. The equivalent of it, it was pretty much a 3. And yeah, technically, yeah, no, that was right. Okay. So we'll do this because it goes into the garage. Because there's actually a laundry room right here, which is very strange how they have it all set up. So there is a laundry room right there. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and do this. Back to the kitchen. And actually, this is how this would go because it goes up like that. Because right here is a bathroom. And technically, the bathroom goes into the garage right here because there is a door right here to go to the backyard. But this little actual room does not exist. Okay, get rid of that because you go into this area. There's a washer and dryer right here. On the other side, there's a toilet and a counter. And technically, this area right here is a shower. Because that's where my mother's room was. And so we go here. And that was her bedroom right there. And so this side was closed like this. We had a double, like, little section like that. There'd be an archway in here, so we'll just probably put an archway to open it up. And then, let's see here. This bathroom, let's see. We'll do this because technically, one of these spots, like right there, is actually her closet. Like that was my mother's closet right there. And then this side, let's see. So this room is like that. Open this up. Here we go. Because this right here is a closet. This right here is a closet. So this is the closet right here that goes into the bigger room, which was my room. This is my brother's room. So this is his closet. This was just wall space. It was nothing important. But that's essentially like the layout. It was like this right here. We had the kitchen right here. This was the living room area. This spot right here, quite literally, was where we had our fireplace. And so we'll go ahead and do that as a lovely little topper there. Okay, yeah, and I can see that I've done some wonderful things to this roofing. But essentially, that's what the base of it looked like. It was just like what we have here. Let me finish this, which was just connected like that. And then people could walk through and go to the backyard here. Now, for a shed, let's see. I'm going to bring up the picture again. Okay, yeah, so it's only like a small, like double-doored shed that we put. Or we didn't put it. It actually, like, existed already before we moved in. And it was against this, so I can probably just keep it like a 2-by shed. And it did have a little bit of an overlap for the roof, so that way we can actually go ahead and put like wood right here. But then there was a tree in the corner, so this whole thing is going to be like bramble and like different things to like decorate the property. And we need to put a door right there. Is there a door for this particular setup? Because I don't know if there will be a door for this setup. It is fairly Okay, well, you know what? That's a little too nice, but you know what? It's The Sims. I don't have any broken down stuff, and I don't think I'm going to end up buying anything to do that. So this was just a dead spot. There's no reason for that. I'm not going to put it up like completely so it's like leveled up there. I'm just going to put this like this. Now, let's see. Technically, the living room should go in like that. So let's do this and close that back up again. So now we have that one by here, and it was actually literally kind of like that. So let me move this over because I should have done that before. Do this. There we go. Because that's just on the side of the house. Like there's no reason. It's just going to be red brick because that's all it was red brick. And this is what the rest of the house looked like. Each of the rooms, like right here, this is how our bathroom was. The closet for this room was right there. This is a tub setup, which means I probably could expand this and make it a double. Let's see here, make it a double closet because I think we only need 2 spaces for the shower. Put right there, which means technically I could do the closet for this one here and then the closet for the bathroom right there, because I think we had one either right here in this spot, like right there, or we had it right there behind the door when you open the door. But either way, I have move objects on, so it is definitely going to be recommended that you use move objects on when you go in here, because I'm going to try to put everything in there. So let me go ahead and do the floors. The floors with it were just basically some older like multi-woods. Oh, actually that's perfect. This is like the perfect wood. Is there a reason why you won't? Huh. What is going on there? What is going on there? Let's see here. Can I just do this? Let's see. Okay. Open that up. And then we'll do this. Okay. Do this again. Let me see where we are with the roof here. Okay. That means I need to do this as a room. Perfect. Do this as a room. And that one as a room. But we'll open this up. There we go. Okay, cool. Because then we could put like a door right here, and there was a door right there for how that goes. So this is the outside of what it looks like. For that, I think I did pretty good. I mean, obviously it's supposed to be like up a little bit more. Let me change. Let's see. Change the day. There we go. Okay. So for that, that's basically the layout. That's basically what the house looks like. It doesn't look too off. I mean, it is a little nicer. But honestly, the grass even looks similar to how my house looked. So, so there's that. So let's get a nice door, a nice little white door. We didn't have anything you could see through for the door because this door was actually pretty heavy. But is there one that has, that's a movie star door. Do we have anything that we can actually use that's not a bathroom that has that metally kind of part underneath it? If not, I'll find something that's like closest to it as possible. It's just as long as it's white, because it was a white door. It was a dirty door, but it was a white door, and that was just how it was. Okay, let me get in here. I'm not really being picky, but I don't want it to be so like newish. I want something that's a little off or a little, I mean, that's a fiberglass door. Is they have it just like that? Let's see here. Let's do this. Where's the arrows? There we go. Okay, that would work. Honestly, that does work. So we'll do that. Now in the house, let's see. We just need some basic wall, like right there. So yeah, that's gonna make it awkward. But that's how it was when we walked into our house. Literally, it was the size of one Sim square in our house. And then for the bedrooms, they pretty much had the same as that. So there was a door, I believe, when we walked in right here. This is this door. And then here I had that. Okay. The center here. There's one there. Here. And they were all the same doors. So I'm not really worried. There. Perfect. Okay, and then for the outside door, it was one that was kind of like the club door. Yeah, actually it was kind of more like this. Like that, because it did have a window in it. It was the only one that actually had a window in it. So that's what took us out to here, and actually looks about right too. Now, let me see here. We want to do the ground. Do we have just regular concrete or like disgusting concrete? What is that? Solid? That's not what I'm looking for. Masonry. Actually, that would work. I'll just do it like this. Perfect. There is like a little like spot here, and then this was just a walkway like this. But again, like I said, it's literally supposed to be up, so there's stairs going into it. But we're not going to worry about that because it is whatever. Because I don't think I can raise other stuff and have that one portion of like the garage low, like down low. So we won't do that. Let me see. Is there an artist? Like, where's the art stuff here? Let me go in here. Because I think there's something that's like similar to like a garage I can use. And I forget what it's called. And I forget which kit it's called. Oh, it's this right here. DIY. Perfect. Honestly, perfect. Can I change it to a white? No. No. Okay. Well, that's going to have to work. That's the garage door. So obviously, because we don't have cars in The Sims, so we'll do that. Let's get some windows in here. So let's go back to build mode. We'll find a window, see if we can find one that's similar to, well, I suppose this might work, actually. Right off the bat, that's actually probably the best bet. Because then I have something like this, which is big picture door here. So doing this like that, that would be for the kitchen. Is this, it's only two. Is there one that's bigger than like the two? No, that's not bigger. We had regular windows like this for everywhere else. Like there was a window like right here that looked like that. One here. One right next to the closet. This one had two right in the center of the room, like that. There's one there. One here. That's literally how the house was like that. And then this one was right there. So that's pretty much for the windows. I need to figure out like how to do this picture window. I don't know if there's anything bigger. Because, I mean, this is the closest to it. But I want the window to be bigger. Or technically the house can't be small because that's exactly the proportions of how it was. Anything that's tall? Still only two though. Let's see here. I don't know if they have one. A 3 pane? No. Don't want a 3 pane. I want a three spot one. I might not be able to do it. No. Too small. Nothing bigger. Oh, that's definitely too small. Or like, I don't think you can. Oh, no, that looks weird. Okay. I was thinking of maybe I can make it smaller, but it's not working. Why are you not working? One-way mirror? No. Okay. But look now. Let's go back up here and see what we have with these ones. I think that's a tall picture. Still tall. No, I want this one. I think I might just do 3 right there to represent it, because I don't think there's anything that can really do it justice. Because like if you look at the childhood home, that's one big picture window. It could be considered 2, but because I have an extra slot like right here, because the living room's a little bit bigger than I had it. I mean, I can make the kitchen. No. This is really hard because the bedrooms are exactly how big the bedrooms should be. And I mean, Yeah, no, they're exactly how they should be. That's a little strange. Okay, then let's just do these, and we'll just do 3 right here to represent the bay window area right there. So that would be what that is. And the house was blue. So let's look up some paneling, and then I will, yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Did I forget to move? I did. Okay. So let's move this whole thing right here. And yes, it did have like a little spot right here because I don't want to put it directly in the center because you can't like put half a wall on a spot. So that's basically where it was, right here. Because otherwise it'd be a little bit more than that because it would be like 2.5 blocks. But you can't really do 2.5 in this game. So, you know. Let's take a look at the roof again. The roof was just all completely down. So we'll get one of these. And let's see here. I'm going to bring that up again. Okay. So there's quite a few. So do this here. Do this here like that. And then we'll bring it down a little bit. Okay. And then let's grab another one here. Over here. This way. And actually, I could probably just bring this one all the way back here. This is so weird because if you look at the picture, you can see like the roof is like 3 different sizes. I don't know who did it, but that's pretty much where we're at with that. And I could probably do this a little bit better, but we're gonna have to just do it like that. And then bring this down a little bit more. That is very weird. It is very, very weird. We don't have... I don't want to do this too much. Does it actually add to the house a little bit? There we go. I think that might be as close as we can do the funky sides that we have there. Okay, so that'll be what that is. Do we have any sort of like shingly sort of... You know, that actually might be good. Okay, now this one for the lovely shed here is just gonna be like this big, like that. I don't know, like it can't get any bigger, smaller, or whatever within that. Let's see here. It's so cute, but it's so weird. Okay, so it does have a little bit of an overhang here, and then I do want a flat gable added onto it, so let's add a little wall here. Okay, we can do that. Let's get the roof on. Oh, well, I'll have to figure that out because it's going to be very small. Flip around. Or maybe just like that. Like that. Let's see here. I mean, that's probably as close as it's going to get for what that picture can show. Let's get the lovely trim here. Just some like thick, ugly trim. I don't know. Does it have like a weird... Yeah, that's about alright. I mean, I could probably put something there for it, but it was old and that works. Okay, so here is this so far, and based off the picture that we have, it looks okay. So let's do a double door for this lovely little space here because, I mean, there's not really a lot you can do with an old ugly house like that one. And mine was old and ugly. Do they have have one that'd be good for the actual outdoor. I don't even know. I don't know. I want one that's cheaper. I could probably find 2 doors I can do that are... No, was it a white? Oh, it was blue. Let's see, like that. And then let's go ahead here and flip it like that. And we'll just do something like that. And see if I can find anything that'll match the roofing a smidge. Yeah, I don't like it, but you know what? Let's see, can I go down any little more? And then maybe do this a little bit up. Yeah, okay. So we'll do that like that, make it a little funky, a little weird. The outside, the house is blue. Like initially the house was blue. And so you can see the paneling, it's going this way, and then there's a couple that go like up and down. So let's see if we have paneling that will do that in a blue. Let's see the green stripes. Oh, that actually kind of works very well. Now, do they have one that goes the other way? That'd be a similar blue. That's what we really need. But I don't know if they do. I need a solid. Let's see here. Let's do that, and then wait. Do they have? I don't think they have anything that would match this. It is very hard to try to find matching, though I kind of feel like I should just do the whole house like that because I don't have anything in here. And like even the starboard, that would have been great because it looks decrepit a little bit if it was the same color as everything else. Okay, this is modern wood, but that's too neat. Okay. You know what? We might have to choose a different color. I mean, I can do like a greenish, or do this blue. Yeah. You know what? Let's just do this blue. Doesn't need to be 2 different types of woods. We'll just make the whole thing that color. Here we go. Okay, perfect. And then the shed. Do you have this color but in a gray? There we go. Look at that. That is probably the easiest one that was able to be used because now it matches. And that is the shed. And there's nothing really in the shed except for maybe storage. But, you know, it is what it is. It's fine. So I want to make it look a little nicer. No. Okay. Now, we want some brick, and some red brick would be pretty good. Oh, lofty lofty brick. So that looks pretty good right there. Okay, and let's go up here. So that we can just, do we have anything that's like dark? Like, do you have a black one? And then, do we have, here we go, some trim. Let's do like that. Okay, so that's pretty okay. I mean, it's a typical house. It wasn't too big, but it was big enough that we could use it the way we did. Okay, and the inside's gonna be the easiest part. Every room was white, including the garage. So we don't have to worry about the colors of the garage or anything else. So let's find this one. I think this one has, do you have just white in here? How do we not? Okay, that might do. Just paint every house, part of the house white. Hallway, closets. Alright, bathrooms. I don't need that. Okay. Everything is white. And okay, I'm gonna stop here really quick. I and do some stuff, and I'll be right back to finish this build. But this is where we left off. Thank you. Hi. And I just left like the actual build just a second ago. Something happened in my house really quick that I had to take care of. Thank you, my kitty cats. So let's go ahead here and get back into this. Be like I never left, because I didn't. Now I'm going to go in here, and just to get the basic lighting going, I'm going to change it eventually because I want it to have that feel of like the house did when I was in it. But for right now, we're just gonna like put some lights in so we can see what we're doing. One per room should be fine. Doesn't even have to be centered, just get it in there and call it a day. Okay, and the garage, which I think the restoration stuff is actually gonna be pretty good for this because there was like a little shelving here, and basically there was a little bench here, so you can go around the bench to go out here, and I do need to make sure that there is matching floors. So let me do, and I think I put those all over and I should not have, but that's fine. But there was a slab here. It was a weird slab, and then back here, this is where it gets a little weird. We had this random slab that just went like this. No rhyme, no reason, no purpose. There was just a slab right there with foliage on one side and dirt on the other. And so what did we ever do with it? Yeah, nothing. We did absolutely nothing for it. It was just like this. And surprisingly enough, this little dirt patch actually goes all the way around the house like this because it was underneath like the roofing, so it was just dirt. And then there was a lot of dirt over here because this is a lot of bramble, a lot of like blackberry bushes. It was just ugh. Because, you know, we're gonna be putting a bunch of things right here anyways. So we'll just go down. And yes, it was not pretty, so you know, it's gonna be a little dirty. And that's just how it was. Like, there was a lot of stuff that was just kind of like that. And there was a little bit like right here too. A little dirt. Let me see what the house looks like right here in this picture if you can see it. Okay, so there is a little bit more grass there. Let me go ahead. Okay, get rid of the picture. Alright. So there we go. Now, as you can see, let me go ahead and bring that back up there. There is just like one bush and one tree in the front yard. That was it. It was like one bush and one tree in the front yard, and that was absolutely it. So we're just gonna do exactly that. We're gonna put one bush and one tree in the front yard. Now what would be, like, it's a little bit more, and it's not a big bush or anything, it's just a small shrubbery. Like a little small bush. That went right there. The backyard's where all the fun stuff is, like all the blackberries and stuff like that that we had growing on the property. That'll work. Perfect. And I don't think with the front yard we had anything under. No. We basically did absolutely nothing with that. Okay, so with the tree, it was a nice big leafy tree. No. Let's see here. Yeah, like that. And it was very strange. It was just sitting like in the yard. Just like that. You know, nothing big. Just a little bit of a... Just like that. I mean, it's not too bad, right? It's just... It was just there. It's not there anymore. They actually did go ahead and destroy it, so it doesn't actually exist anymore, but it did exist. Now, this is where it's fun. I need to get an archway here. I know I have some in here. I need a double archway, and it needs to be squared. Do we have a double square archway? Yeah, here we go. No, it's triple. Here we go, right there. Actually, we can move this over here, like that. Yeah, that was pretty good. You can barely see it when you walk through the door like that, because there will be a desk right here. Now this is the living room, so we want the same flooring throughout. It was hardwood floors for the entire place except for the linoleum that was in here and the linoleum in the bathrooms. And I believe those were all the same type of linoleum. So let's go ahead and grab some linoleum here. And that actually looks about, oh, this one's also, yeah. Let's do this, this, and then we did have linoleum like that. So we have that there, which is perfect. Let's do some hardwood floors. This one is also very perfect for this, because that's pretty much what our floors looked like in the property. Now, there we go. Let's do this room, this room. None of the rooms, I mean, none of them had carpet in the slightest. There we go. That's exactly it. Concrete in here was perfect. So this is basically the layout of the house. We had really crappy linoleum, very old, and there was hardwood throughout. So there we go there. White walls. Now I'm going to focus on the living room first. I think that would probably be best. Let me go ahead and do each of these closets. I think all the closets were all done, actually. Perfect. Okay, I just missed that one. So the living room, we had an entertainment center. So let me go ahead and take a look with this. Now, actually, let's go in here, go to the living room. I love the fact that these are all separated, so it makes it easy. We had a red brick one. Let's see, I think that's the closest it's gonna get. That's too big though. We want, yeah, actually that looks good because the red brick was on the inside as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some of that lofty brick, and we're just gonna put it like this because that's exactly how that looked there. And on the ground, there was actually tile on the ground, like a stone tile, kind of rustic, like that. Very good. And then we did have a portrait right above. So let me go into the living room again, get the pictures. And I don't think, no, that's too big. I just want one picture of like some random landscape, because that's pretty much what we did. We had a random landscape, some lovely like Chinese artwork and whatnot. And let's see here, get this a little bigger. And that's actually kind of perfect. That almost looks exactly like the one we had when I was growing up. And then on this side, it was like just random artworks. Like we had a couple things like that, just something random up on the wall. And that was pretty much it. Do they have anything that's like similar to like, you know, there's those like little porcelain masks that people like hand paint? We had some of those, but I don't know if they have anything like that in this game. I mean, they might have something for like wall decor, but nothing to that extent, because we used to have a whole collection of those particular masks that we'd hang up on the wall. And I don't see anything in here for decor. Okay, well that's gonna have to do, because usually we had a couple throughout. Fans you can put on the wall too. Wait, don't they have, I thought they had fans in this. Do we not have fans for, let's see, fan, let's see. No, not like that. Huh. Okay, well, yeah, nope. And then in the center of the room here, we'll take away this one and this one. Because, see here, it's a plumb bob one. We had a fan. Do they have one that has a light added to it? Nope. Okay, so we'll do that. Because there was a fan in the middle of the living room. It's the only room that had an actual fan. We'll put that inside, so yeah, it'll clip a little bit, but it's still giving the light that it needs in there, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Okay, and then we put like our Christmas tree right here, so that's pretty good. So we have the walls for that. So let's do an entertainment center here. Actually, do they have like an actual entertainment center we could use? Because we always had a big television, because my dad always wanted a big TV. We had an old school looking modular one like this. And it was always like dark. Okay. Like kind of like that. Yeah. And then a big old TV like right above it. Wait, where did you go? Where did this go? Oh, it's there, but it disappears with the... Really? Okay. Okay, put up the walls. Okay, we're getting rid of that. Let's just do one of these ones that's like old and funky. Which actually works because it's got that kind of like decrepit look to it, so it's fine. But we always had a big TV. No matter what, we always had a big TV. We also had like speakers on either side of them growing up. If you didn't live in a house where there was like ginormous speakers and a gaming console, I don't know what to tell you. It's weird. It was always weird. I was trying to think if there's a speaker or something in here. Does the audio have a speaker? Like tall, just standing, ugly, like singular speaker that I can add in. It's too high tech, which technically works, but it also does not work. And yes, we did do that often like that, so. Okay, and I do this. Oh, why are you in the air? No, put you on the ground. I am so confused why it's not wanting to work. Okay, well, we'll just do that. And then the couch that we had growing up. Let's see, this would be where Dad would always take a whenever he decided to come home, and it was a 3-roper here, so 3 little squares. And you could barely get into this corner. We put just like an ugly little side table in that corner, and you barely could touch the actual drawer. In fact, I think my mother still has that particular setup too. Let's see. That's a little nice. Let's see. No, it's too small. Okay, this actually is pretty dead on, but it doesn't have the right color. Like, oh, it actually does. So it's kind of like that, but it was actually, no, it was blue. What am I talking about? So it was more of a blue. Like that, and then there was just a love seat. Now, the thing with that is that this living room was squished. Squished. So we didn't have a lot of space for a lot of things. And I just need one that does not match, that it just kind of goes. We did put a large chair in there sometime. Maybe I'll just look for a chair, because we did put a large chair that matched it at one point. Then we got rid of the chair, and we got the actual love seat, and then the love seat, it was just insanity. Let's see here. Did we get a blue? Okay, that'll work. It's not supposed to match. Nothing in my house really matched. In fact, a lot of things were completely mismatched growing up. And now let's do the accent tables. Now with the accent tables, the one over here was bigger, but it was, actually that's pretty similar to how it looked, because it was just how it was. Now let's see here. I'm gonna kid you not, we had some weird one of these. I don't want one with a drawer. Actually, no, see, this is kind of looking like what it looked like in that corner. And it's even distressed. Look at that. It's even distressed. And no, they did not match. Like, they were similar tones, but they were not matching side tables. I'm sorry about your luck. It's just the way it was. Now, we did have actual, like, table lamps in here. Those are not table lamps. Let's see. Is there a table lamp somewhere else? Here we go. And I could easily go to just the light section, but I'm not going to do that. Now we had a weird, funky... Yeah, like that. No, we did not have one over here. We usually put key... Oh, no, we did, actually. We had the gold one. The weird gold one. Like this. Never mind, we did. We did eventually. They were mismatched. Jesus Christ. When I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh. Yeah, no, that's about how my house looked. Yeah, no, that's about right. We had mismatched everything. So that makes total sense. We did put a rug down. Here, we always had just something like, oh, that's actually almost perfect. Let's see. Oh, nope, that's it right there. We had this black coffee table. My mom thought it was the coolest thing ever. She got it from one of her not so good friends. Not so good friends. Let's just put it that way. And she brought it home. She brought it home. She was like, this is fun. That's cute. I like it. We're going to put it in the house and we're going to call it a day. Okay. I mean, it's kind of mixed matchy. It's kind of not. But I mean, like, this is what the living room pretty much looked like. And there was a table here, which is why this, I thought, like, went in more, because actually what I'm missing, and I just realized I'm missing a wall, because this went like that. Why? Because I remember we had a table for Christmas, and like whenever we had dining table, the table was right here. You literally had a table right there. So let's go ahead here, and I apologize for the noise outside. Dining room, we just need one like skinny table that has two, and it was an old school looking one, kind of like that. Yeah, that looks about right. It's not exactly the prettiest. We did not even have chairs at the table. It's just basically where the spread was. Yeah, let's see. That's actually more like it. And it was just like that. That's it right there. That's all. That's all. It's basically a catch-all. And this is like really fun because technically there was a desk here. Now I don't know how usable this house is going to be when I'm finished with it, but it's fine. Now this was a metal, like, yeah, like that. So that's why I'm like, we'll just, I'll get rid of that. We won't put that there because this is going to be for, like, in the way. And I want that there more than I want that little table because we did eventually get rid of it. So we'll just say we got rid of it. Okay. We got rid of it. Now a rolly chair. No, the rolly chair that we had was like this one. It had arms on it. And it looked like that. And this is where the main like house computer was. Originally I got one later, like a long time ago. And like, well, obviously it's a long time ago. But I ended up getting one for my own bedroom of it, like eventually. And that's what I'm going to base my room off of, is how that bedroom looked. Okay, so here we go. I didn't paint the outside right. Let me take a look here because I feel like, oh, okay, I didn't. All right. So this is what this looks like. Now, everything was beige. So that cheap set that you see when it comes to the kitchen, that is basically what our kitchen looked like. It was like this one right here. Well, no, I want this one because this one shows, yeah, that's what our kitchen looked like right there. See that? Yeah. Okay. Did they have, let me see here. I need a little right end piece like that. See, you can't even get through. That's lovely. So let's see. Yep. Can I move it down a little bit? There we go. You should be able to get through right there. But we had this little piece right there because it was brought across from the fridge. Actually, let's put the cheap ass fridge in there. The cheapy fridge. There we go. I literally am giving you the house that this looks so much like crap. This is so what the house looked like when I was growing up in it. It was sold, and they refused to do everything with it. And I don't think there's upper cabinets for these, but let's see here. Oh, they do have upper cabinets. Yes. Actually, can this one go? Hold on. I think this one, let's get rid of that. Where are you at? Here we go. I need this one right here. Oh, that's too pretty, but whatever. It's basically how it was, so I'll just deal with that. And then, just like that. Oh, actually, technically, that was one of these, like, outer corner ones. Why are you not going right here? Can I actually, like, alt move you so you're right there? Okay, like that. That works. Because we did have like a little spice, like it was an actual like counter, like it was an actual like cupboard, but that's where the cupboard was right there on the other side above the like the little itty bitty teeny tiny little storage area. Now we do have a hood for it. I'll put a hood in afterwards. It was uglier than hell, but we did have a double sink, so I'm just gonna put 2 sinks in to kind of like represent the double sink, since I don't think I have a sink in here that can actually do that sink justice. So pretend that's a double sink, because you had a double sink where you'd have like that divider like right in between, and then you had one side you could use for like clean water and the other side for dirty water, like when you're washing the dishes. So that's pretty much what we did there. Now let's see for a hood. It wasn't like all that well. Let's see here. Can I do up a little bit like that? Yeah. And then let's get another cabinet right here on the top. I need a half tile in this color. There we go. That works. And then no, give me. Come on. Where are you going? Oh my god. Am I pushing the right key? Because it's supposed to be able to... Oh my gosh, undo that. Okay, that'll just stay right there. It'll be awkward. It's fine. The whole place is a little decrepit. But that's pretty much what the kitchen looked like. We did have a little mat on the floor for like decoration underneath where we cooked. So let's see if we have anything in here that could work for that. There was also one under the sinks as well. Actually, I think the bathroom has the floor rugs. Let's see here. Yeah, that's about right. But I need this to be smaller. Smaller. Okay. And... no, let me do this. There. Okay, that's pretty much it right there. We did have, let me go ahead here and get back into the kitchen, because we did have cabinets above the fridge. So let's do this, half tile, ta-da. There we go. Because we were able to actually put bowls like above the kitchen there, or above the refrigerator there. So that's basically what that is. Let me go and see if we have any lights. Do they have like lights that go above, or is it just in the room like that? Okay, I need ones that come down, like really ugly ones that come down, like fluorescent. Yeah, like that. I think that's as close as it's gonna get. Get rid of this, get rid of this. Alright. And then we had another fun little painting, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy this one. Put it it right there. I don't think you could change it to something else. There we go. Okay, well, so far so good. You come in, you're looking, this is the eclectic living room. Eclectic. We put our Christmas tree right here in front of this picture. That corner was usually stuffed with God knows what at this point. Let me go like this because that wall is not painted. Okay. And then if you were going to go in the kitchen, like to give groceries, you'd have to get past this thing, which I don't know how you're going to get past that thing. I don't know if you can actually walk past that because I think this will go in and then you can move around it. But that is that. Now this room is pretty easy. We had one light above that looks exactly how it should be there. And let's do laundry. Do that. And then I don't think you got a really crappy one, but we just had a washer and dryer like that in there. There was actually one of these. Let's see, do they have one that's just, yeah. Let's go ahead and do this again. That looks about right. Yep, that seems right. We'd also put like laundry stuff on top. So like just put it right there, like this. My dad would just do this and put a bunch of clothes, just like that. It was pretty messy. That's it. It's nothing special. Like the entirety of the whole thing is just basically, it was laundry on top of the laundry. So easy enough as it is. Let's do the garage really quick because this is probably the easiest thing to do. It's just let me actually do this. Open packs. And I'm just going to go straight to the restoration kit because the restoration kit has exactly what I need to do, or the restoration workshop to do this. So in here, these were black. We did this. We had one of these. It's like when you went in, so you had a little spot here. And then we had a tool tighten similar. And it was in red. So it's kind of like that. So there's a spot to put stuff down, and then we had another storage area. So I'm going to do a couple of these right here where we put stuff. And then there'd be a car like right there. And honestly, let's add this to it. Oh look, it kind of looks like the house now. Do this because it was really gross in there. Here we go. Okay. Honestly, easy peasy. There's an overhead light that's actually pretty similar, so that makes it pretty simple. We have that in there. Storage, just there was storage pretty much everywhere. So not really a big deal. Just that, and then there was usually like tools just like hanging about. And I think it was more like this one above that. So you'd walk in and then there was like something like that there, and it's just kind of annoying because this one like that. Let me actually get a smaller Titan for this. Let me flip this. There we go. We'll get this one. That's much better. Okay. And then there's basically just junk everywhere. We had junk everywhere. At one point we had a table in the middle, but that's for something that we don't need to talk about. My parents weren't exactly the best people in the whole entire world, but we did have things like this in here, which is just a bunch of junk, because why not? So that's basically the garage. We never actually parked in it, except for one time. Then we had a laundry room that was pretty much dead on. This, which was like broken down pretty good. Like we're just checking out the room there. And the living room, which is very eclectic. So let's go into how my room was. I didn't really have a lot of stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and do it from top view. Let's do it like this. Get rid of restoration. Go back into the bedroom. My bed was pretty much on the ground. Like I had a box spring and a mattress, and I lived on the ground. And it was a queen bed. Or no, it was not a queen. It was a double. And I did have an armoire, or not an armoire, but Yeah, see, that's not gonna work. It's too big. I mean, I can do it like how I did it before, which is at one point like this. Alright, yeah, no, that's about right. Okay, and then we put the actual desk in there. My room was very simple. Like, it was just very, very simple. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of stuff. I had basically a desk, which was just like an old little lacquered desk that technically it was singular. Like that. And then one of these because it was older than sin when I played The Sims on here for the first time. Really old. And just a cheap little chair. I will kid you not, that was basically how my setup was. A cheap little chair, tiny little desk, older than sin setup. No rugs on the ground because ain't nobody got time for rugs. But I did have posters. I had lots of posters everywhere. My room was so basic. I didn't have anything at all. Like, I never had, like, absolutely anything growing up. But I did have fun little posters everywhere. Band posters, boy band posters, like, crazy posters of, like, different things here or there, things I thought were cute. I don't think they have anything in this game that would work very well for that purpose. Though I know Little Simsies pack has, oh, here we go, put like that up there. Weird, inspirational, where's the Sims? There we go, there. Closest thing we can get to that sort of stuff. And it was just basically a collage of crazy. Like my whole room was just a collage of crazy. At one point, I did make it into like a giant collage. Yeah, that looks about right. I didn't have anything on this wall except for more pictures, so let's just keep putting pictures up. Britney Spears. That's not Britney Spears, but that's kind of what I had up there. And let's see here. We'll do something like that. Okay. That's basically how my bedroom was growing up. It was just basically a bunch of pictures and a bunch of crap. Now, bunch of crap. Now, do they have one of these I can just shove in here? Do they not have something you can just shove into this thing? I mean, okay. You know what? Let's go ahead and we'll just make this a nice little, like, 2x2 there. It won't hurt because then I can do the same thing for this bedroom in here, which we'll go into next. And then that'll be like the closets. You won't be able to use them, but nobody did. Now my brother's room was basically bunk beds. He had a set of bunk beds. Now for him, I think we can find a good set of bunk beds in here. Let's see. Where are the bunk beds? Here we go. He had just a red set. I don't think you can do red in this game though, which is like, oh no, you can. Okay, that actually works. Let's do this. He had it like that, and then there was usually a matching bed that was metal underneath. I don't think you can do that though. Let me see here. Let's go back to the bunk beds. That was that pack. Okay, let me find that one. Like that pack. Venture weights. Okay. That actually works for what I need it to be. Yeah. There we go. That actually works kind of perfectly because then he had a room for like all his toys and crap here. Because then he had like a little like toy box and stuff for when he was younger. This was a dresser. It was an ugly dresser. Just a random like dresser like that. Because that's where he had his television. I had a PC, he had a TV. Like, let's see. Yeah, and then he also had game systems as well. So do we have a game system in here we can add to his stuff? Kids room, outdoors, living room, televisions. I don't think, is this, yeah. There we go. That's kind of how you had that there. Back to the kids' room. Going into infants and toddlers. Do they just have a toy box? Can we just get a toy box? There's some random toy box in there. And you can just do like random stuff like that. Because he did have robots. He did have robots, so that's actually accurate. Just put like a couple of games. And like his room was a mess. And he did have a rug. And I forget what color it was. Oh god, it's been so long. But we'll just put some blue one. There we go. That's about right. And he had soccer pictures up on the wall. Because our house was a European football house. And I don't know if there is sporty ones in here. Did they have sporty ones in here? I'm not really sure. I don't usually look for it, so we'll just look for a couple like inspirational pictures here. Look at that. That's adorable. Okay. Nothing more, nothing left. We'll just... There we go. Okay. Nothing in the hallway. The hallway was pretty empty at all times. And I think I forgot a door for this room here. There we go. And we'll just have that for our closet in this bathroom. Now the bathroom was old. Like old. Like there's the plastic in the background of the tub set up. This is probably the closest we can get to it. Let's see. Maybe said something whimsical for... No, it has to be white though. Whimsy and white. This might be the closest. So that's basically how it was. Just like that. I know, because this whole house was like not protected like it should have been. And we got mold all the time. Like we got mold all the freaking time. And here we have the same lovely setup as the kitchen. Like this. With the cheapest toilet known to mankind. Just right there. And one sink. One cheap little sink. Where's cheap? Yeah, actually that's the right size. Just like that. The mirror above. And it was one of the double mirrors. So it's like, yeah, like that entry mirror. But not with the little ledge. But it was like more like this. Like that. Now, did we have anything in here? No, we didn't. Did we have accents? Yes, we did. Like, we had toilet paper on the counter. We never used the toilet paper roll. Because who in their god name does the toilet paper roll right down next to the toilet like this? Like, they didn't even have it just like that. So we always put the toilet roll on the counter. We had random crap everywhere. Let's see here. Bath towels, and we had bath towels never matching. Like nothing in our house matched with bath towels. Let's see here. Nope. Okay. There we go. Honestly, that's about right. Yep. Nope. Okay. That is this. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you. That's actually pretty dead on. That's actually a pretty dead on shelf. Okay, let's see if there's anything like shelving that we can do. Let's take a look at the bookshelves and see if they have like a shelf that would be really good for the closet. Do they have just like, hold on. Shelf. Here we go. Don't think they have anything that would work really well for it. That's too big. Let's see here. Okay, that works okay. Let's see here. There we go. And then where are you on the side there? Okay, you're... Let's get you flipped. Come on, let me get you in here. Well, it's not wanting to work out like that. So there is a couple like shelves there. That would be working like what we're gonna do for the room. Okay, perfect. Now, I mean, I can always make it a little bit bigger so it has the closet, but my mom didn't really use the closet for anything other than storage, and that works there. So this is the last room here, belongs to my mom. She also had like not a lot of space. We never really had a lot of space with these. So let's see here. She had a bit of a nicer bed than we did. Let's see. Something extravagant because she was very bougie like that. But she also had really big like headboards. So yeah, no, more like that. Do you have anything that's a little bit red? Red's her favorite color. One of her favorite colors. Now she did have matching side tables. Usually ones like this, which had the darker wood though. Do we have one that's darker? That's probably as dark as it's gonna get. Again, it wasn't all completely matchy-matchy, but I think that was the only thing that was. And then she had, I don't think we have armoires though, because on the other side of her bed, which technically this was underneath the bed. Like, I'll put this like this. That, like that. Yeah, that looks about right. Like right here was an armoire. So I don't know if there's an actual like, oh, there is. Yeah, no, actually that worked pretty well. Some of these are a little too nice. It was a really, really old armoire. So let's see, does this one have like a dark setting? That's too small. It was huge, it was bulky, it didn't match anything. That looks better. There we go. So there's some darker woods sort of thing, but then she had a white dresser that looked just like that. So it looked like that. It was really like hard to get in certain places. And her room had a bunch of like dream catchers. I don't know if they have dream catchers in here. Do we have dream catchers? Dream. Let's look up dream. I don't know if they have dream catchers in game. But she did have some weird eclectic stuff here or there. She had a bunch of crap. I mean, let's be honest. She had a bunch of crap in her room. Yeah, no, there's nothing like dream catchers in this game. Okay. Let's get rid of dream. Go into room. We'll just find some pictures. Find some pictures that might work. See, based off of like what she liked. Because I think there was like a giant... Oh, that actually works. We'll just put this here. And honestly, here was another spot. There was actually right next to this picture here, there were two like leg warmers that she had put on the wall, and she'd put her earrings on the leg warmers and use that as a storage solution for certain things. Well, we'll just put like a little frame here to go with that, and then a nice big old picture, since we've been doing these lovely pictures. And not all the way up there. Jesus criminy. Okay, now let's get rid of this. She had, and I have to get the actual like overhead for each of the rooms. Each of the rooms had a really old like looking pendant that's just hideous, except for the bathroom. We'll just do that and hug that one. There we go. It'll hide it, but it gives a little extra light. And this one was just like a dome against the thing, so I'm just going to leave that like it is because that's about as perfect. Same with this bathroom. And that's pretty much like, there was a mirror on this wall here though. Let me go to the bathroom, get a mirror. Just a nice little like mirror, because she used to like do her like her hair and her makeup like that. Now, her bathroom. Now hers just had actual like shower in it, which is fine because we're going to use that. And it was a really dark shower. Like her shower was basically like this, and it was really dark on the inside, so you're always looking at like now here, that same lovely adorable little cabinet right there. And then a cheap toilet. We had cheap toilets through the whole entire house. These toilets used to flood. They would flood the entirety of the bathroom. It was horrible. Like, it never got fixed. We never got them to come in and fix it. Though we did ask for them to fix it, they would never do so. And just cheap little one like that. No counter space for absolutely anything. She did have a toilet paper roll right next to hers. So accents. Let's get this. And then let me bring this up here. Now she had like a little like storage thing up here. So let's actually get the mirrors in there first. And she had one of these kind of big ones like that. And let's see here. She had shelving. So let's go ahead and actually I'll copy the shelving that's over here. The clutter cupboard. Like that. Because it used to smack my head like on it when I'd get up when I use her bathroom. It would always like just smack. Now she didn't have any pictures like in her room, like the bathroom. She did have a really ugly rug though. So she did have a rug. Let's find a rug. An absolutely ugly rug. Yeah, just like that. That's it. Her bathroom was not, I mean, like, obviously it was far more cluttered, but I'm not really going to do a bunch of clutter. I'm just going to do a little bit through here and there. She did have side lamps. These lamps were, I believe, they might have been different. I know one of them was big and ugly. Something just absolutely ancient looking. Okay, that one was actually on this side because we had one that almost looked exactly like that. And then just something that's just like bigger, uglier. Let's get something bigger and ugly. Oh, let's see. Yes. Again, welcome to the eclectic house. She had a rug too. Let's find a nice ugly rug. And I'm not just saying ugly for the sake of saying ugly. I'm saying that's just how like my family's house was. It's just ugly old rug. That is perfect. And literally her room. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and just get some clutter, let's see here. Do we have like weird clutter that she would have like sitting on here or as decor? We don't need too many wall pieces. She didn't have a lot, and there's not a lot of stuff in here that would actually constitute the same stuff that she would use for cluttering. And she had to clutter. She cluttered a lot. Let's see here. Decorations. Here we go. So this should have pretty much everything in there, right? Let's see. Let's see. Clutter. There's literally a thing. This is clutter. Mugs. Weird water. Notebooks. Get rid of that. Let's see here. Weird trinkets. Her room was literally a mess of crap. Just everywhere. There was just crap everywhere. Like, you could not like go anywhere without seeing a bunch of clutter crap. I don't think it'll let me yet. Oh, it will. Okay. So basically, yeah, we'll just do that. A little bit of clutter here and there. She had stuff in the drawers. It was pretty good. He got his room. My room did not have a bunch of like a lot of stuff, but it did have like something like that on the side. And I don't think really anything else. I mean, like, I didn't really have a lot. Just random shoes on the ground. That looks about right. That looks like a messy girl's room. I did have dark. I always had dark. I have dark now. The only reason I have anything gold on there is because my cats sleep on the blanket that's there. But that was my room. There's my brother's. There's the bathroom. Here's my mom's room. Here's her bathroom. We saw the garage, which is basically a bunch of storage. There's the living room and the kitchen. So we got the living room here. And then the kitchen. Funny enough, that's exactly what it looked like almost. And then we had the back. Now, this is where we spent a lot of time. Like, there was quite literally, let's see, do you have a, I don't think, Let's just look up pool. We had a weird little, honestly, yeah. I mean, we had one of like the bigger like circular ones that are above ground, but I don't think you can get that in this game. So we're gonna get just this kiddie pool. It was about that size anyways. It wasn't that big. We did have some like outside chairs. These, however, were part of the set, so they did actually sit down in here, and we just kind of sat right there. There was, in fact, a fire pit. Just a cheap one like that. There we go. Can you actually... Oh, you can. Awesome. Here we go. Okay. So we did have a fire pit right outside. There was... If we go here, go to the outside, we did have a nice one of these. So we had someone like this, but it was like that. That was put right there. I mean, honestly, it was not as bad as people thought. The outside was probably the best part. So terrain tools, we get some dark here. Let's do this. I'll just like... just a little bit. Nothing too big, like... Probably use the circular one right here. And then whenever you have a pool, it gets a little gross underneath because none of the grass can actually get some light or anything. Okay. Now, the one thing I did have, I don't know if we have a clothing line. Let's see. Let's try clothing. Okay. I don't think they have a clothing line here. Let's see. Do they have... No. Okay. Well, technically, right where these chairs are would be like a little setup for like a clothing line that goes from the shed over, and then it would be just like right here. Because if you look at the picture, you can see the white posts, which were part of where the clothing line are. And if we were just, I mean, like the clothing line wasn't actually attached, so it was just actually just 2 posts, which I can easily do a couple columns to represent, like just easy little, just like that for the backyard. Why it's there, somebody's gonna look at this and be like, why is that there? Probably because that's just the way it is. Okay. Now let's do some big tree back here, like that, and it's clipping through. I don't want to clip through it. There we go. Okay. And we need some bushes and shrubbery. So like this. Perfect. And yes, a lot of it would look like it was dead because it was gross and weird, and there were blackberry bushes and bramble and every fun thing under the sun that was just like in here. Yeah, that looks about right. So we'll just do this along here. We'll do some green, like maybe do green here, just like every other one. We never went through and we never cleaned it up. Don't know why, don't really care, because nobody ever dealt with anything back there unless they absolutely needed to. And honestly, the reasons why this area was used anyways just is not Sims appropriate. So it was never for good reasons. So there we go. It was just kind of like that. We did have some like outside stuff like this because there was a neighbor's house that was like right here, so everything stuck through, and so that is actually quite accurate. Everything was pretty much overgrown. Over here it was so dirty that like nothing grew into this mess. But this area here, we didn't have any wood in there, but we had like weird random like crap everywhere. And yes, the neighbors hated this, but technically landscaping wasn't in the contract for us to do, so we didn't have to do it. There we go. It's just to give it some character, some weird like little extra oomph to the property. There we go. Yep, that looks about right. Jesus Christ. Okay, so the backyard wasn't too extravagant. Let me see if I can see anything for this picture here. Yeah, technically there's a little like overhang, but it was almost broken down, so we almost got rid of it there. And there is another tree like right here, so let's grab another tree for that. Just like that. They were never the same trees. It's fine. So that's pretty much it, actually. That is the lovely like house that I grew up in. So if it looks like this, so just kind of like that. This is obviously a little bit nicer than the one that I grew up in, but you'd come in, you'd have this lovely little closet right when you walk through the door, so it'd smack you right in the face. And it was very hard to bring furniture in, let me tell you. We had to like maneuver like crazy. We had to like, you know, pivot, and yeah, it was never that fun. But then we had the living room, which was pretty mismatched, so we had different side tables. This was pretty mismatched, a little bit beaten up for a lot of things. This was actually, oh my gosh, it was like black marble. It was very heavy, very hard to move around. So that sat in there. We broke a lot of things on it because it was, you know, Battle of Wills. There was nothing on this wall except for a mirror. And I don't know if I have it. Do I have a mirror that would actually work with that one pretty well? Because we did have a mirror on this wall. Something just like that. So we did have a mirror right next to the door. I completely forgot about that. There is a mirror there. But this is how the living room looked. And then like you would have this short little small spot here that had the archway that goes into where the bedrooms and the bathroom were. And then the kitchen, which had like the half there with a small desk in there with the computer. That's how we had it because we couldn't do double sinks. That's how you have it right there. Double sinks. Laundry room. Obviously, we're doing laundry in the laundry room. Go into the garage. You have basically a storage area with a bunch of crap. Literally. My bedroom, which is just basically a bunch of posters on the wall, a couple things here or there, nothing too big. My brother's room, which you'd go in, you'd see like the dresser right away. It was a really old one. So it did have like a lot of different colors on it. And he had bunk beds, and this red set of bunk beds that he had, my mother still has in her garage. Like, she has not gotten rid of it, and it is so old. So we still have those. Our lovely small bathroom here, we have just basically a bunch of counter space, a small toilet at the very end next to the window. I think at some point you could look out the window and see outside when you're on the toilet, but I'm not moving it over to make it look weird. We had the shower, and then to my mom's room, mismatch, everything is there with an armoire. When you first walk in, that's the first thing you see is the armoire, a white dresser, and her bathroom. And then obviously this. So that is the house. That is my childhood home. And thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please like and subscribe down below. And I will upload this lovely bad boy, this whole entire lot, on Fern Park, and go at Aura Sims childhood home. And I'll just do modded just in case. So I'll just put my childhood home. And if you try to find me on here, I am under the name Pixioid. And you'd be able to find it there. So please go ahead and download it. Thank you. Dag dag.